So we're looking at question 2 of the MyiMaths exercise rearranging 1. And we have to rearrange these equations to make x the subject. So in other words, to express them as x equals something else with all of the other letters. And for each of these, there's two ways you could express the answer. Now you only need to fill in one box. For the first one, I'll look at how to do it both ways, and then for subsequent ones, I'll just do it one way. So the first one says a, x plus b in brackets equals c. So we've got a, x plus b in brackets equals c. I'm trying to get closer to the x. So at the moment that x is in those brackets. So if I just take what's in the brackets, x plus b, and divide it by the a that it's being multiplied by outside, so dividing by a, then I'm getting a little bit closer to the x by isolating the x plus b bracket. But because I've divided the left by a, I also need to divide the right by a. So I've got x plus b equals c over a. Now if I just take away the b, I get the x on its own. But because an equation is like a balance, whatever I do to one side, I need to do exactly the same to the other side. So I need to take away b from the other side as well. So x equals c over a minus b. Now that's one way to write the answer. I could also express that as a single fraction. So remember, when you add and subtract fractions, they've got to have the same denominator. So instead of that b, I'm going to write that b as a times b over a. So I'm just multiplying it by a over a, which is just like multiplying it by 1. So it's not really doing anything, but it's just expressing it in a different way so that it's in a fraction with the same denominator as the other fraction. And having got two fractions with the same denominators, I can write them as a single fraction over that denominator. So it's c that's in the first fraction minus ab that's in the second fraction, all divided by a. So I can either write the answer this way with two separate terms in the expression on the right, or I can write the expression on the right as a single fraction. Now I'm going to do it the first way, and for all of these I'm just going to do them one way, whichever way it turns out. But on the iMaths exercise you also only need to fill in one answer, not both. So I filled in the boxes there for the first one, and the next question says 9 x plus a equals b. So we've got 9 x plus a in brackets equals b. So I'll get closer to the x if I divide everything by 9, so that I'm just left with what's in that bracket, the x plus a, but I need to divide the other side by 9 as well to maintain the balance. So x plus a equals b over 9. I just want the x on its own, so I'm going to take away the a, but I need to do that on the other side as well, so I get b over 9 that was already there minus a. Let's just write that a little bit more neatly. So x equals b over 9 minus a. So we've filled in the boxes for that one. And the next one says a, x minus 3 in brackets equals b. So a, x minus 3 in brackets equals b. So I'll get closer to the x if I divide everything by the a, so that I'm just left with the stuff that was in that bracket. But I have to do exactly the same on the other side as well to maintain the balance. So dividing both sides by a, I get x minus 3 equals b over a. I want the x on its own, so I want the minus 3 to disappear. It will disappear if I add 3, but then I've got to add 3 to the other side as well to maintain balance. So x equals b over a plus 3. So I filled that in, and then the next one says c, 8 plus x in brackets equals 5. c, 8 plus x in brackets equals 5. I'll get closer to the x if I divide by the c that bracket is being multiplied by. So I'm just left with the stuff that's in the bracket, 8 plus x. But then I need to divide the other side by c as well. So 8 plus x is equal to 5 over c. I want the x on its own, so I want the 8 to disappear. The 8 will disappear if I subtract 8. But then I need to remember to subtract 8 the other side as well. So x equals 5 over c minus 8. So I filled that in the box, and let's mark it. 8 out of 8.